Hey guys, Jack here from Bateman's Bay, and this is my rig. It's a 2004 1KZ-TE SR5 Hilux. I've had the car for about 5 or 6 years, and it is my 8th four drive, but I don't have any plans of ever selling this one. So it's our family bus during the week. On the weekends I tow a boat and I tow a toy hauler with it. Once a year we do a trip up the coast. We do about a 20-hour round trip with a bit of beach driving. We also do, we've started to do trips to the snow once every year as well. And I also like to do a bit of the hard tracks. So it's been on tracks like, it's done Monkey Gum a few times. It's been to places like McBride's Beach Track and things like that. So I really enjoy that sort of track as well. So I've built the car really slowly over the years just to suit everything I use it for. I wanted to use all good quality brands and things that are going to last because I always plan to keep the car forever. So to still do that on a budget, I've basically bought nearly everything on the car off Gumtree or Facebook. I've swapped a lot of bits and pieces out of the shed for parts for the car. So I'll show you around the car and all the parts that I've fitted. And how I've managed to save a bit of money doing so. So I've got the Light Force spotties on the front there, which I actually pulled from a previous truck. And then I've got the two hardcore light bars. I quite like the look of those slimline lights. I actually got the small one from northern New South Wales, and I got the one on the roof there from Queensland to save a bit of money on Gumtree. I got the winch there from my work. And the bull bar, I was lucky enough, the car was pretty standard, basically standard when I got it, but it did have that ARB bull bar on it, which I quite like. It's also got the GME radio with the aerial on the front there. The aerial I actually kept from a previous four-wheel drive, and the GME XRS, purchased that from a friend of mine with a bundle of accessories. So the scrub bars are actually off a D22 Navara. And I did want to get rock sliders, but I need the steps for the kids to be able to get into the car. So I've got the ARB steps, and then I've had a friend of mine weld up some stronger bar underneath just for sliding on rocks and things like that, add a bit of extra strength. So suspension wise, when I got the car, it was all standard, except it did have the heavy duty leafs. So what I've done, I got the 2-inch Tough Dog shocks to go with that. I left the heavy duty leafs in there, and then I got the heavy duty torsion bars to bring the front up to match the back. I like the heavy duty leafs because I do quite a bit of towing, and that sort of brought it level, so that gives it probably about 1.5 inches or an inch or so of lift, which is plenty for me. I've had big 4-inch lifted trucks and 3-inch lifted trucks, and I do much prefer that better center of gravity, that stability that you get. I did also put the Marks 4-wheel drive diff drop kit, basically just to get those CV angles back to standard, because having the IFS, I just wanted to keep everything as strong as it could possibly be. It does also have the ARB long range tank, and I'm running 31x10 Mickey Thompson mud terrain tyres. That's the biggest legal tyre I can run on the car. They are a good tyre. I've been quite happy with them. They're a bit louder than the KM3s and the KO2s that were on it previously. But yeah, I haven't had any dramas with them. I don't mind a little bit of road noise. And I'm running them on my favourite rims that I've been running for a long time on previous four drives. I quite like the steel off-road. And what I find with these imitation beadlocks is that gives it that extra protection when you're bashing against rocks, stops you from bending the lip of the rim, which I've found works very well. I'm actually running the 4.3 diff gears in the car, which I know most people would say is way too low for a 31-inch tyre. But I really like that low range gearing off-road, and also doing a lot of towing. I find it quite helpful, especially with my steep driveway, being able to reverse up with the low gearing and, you know, push the toy hauler and the boat up into the shed with ease. I don't mind losing a bit of top speed and a bit of fuel economy at the top end. I just really like that sort of setup. I did save quite a bit of money doing the diffs as well. I actually swapped the standard diffs, the diff gears, with a fella from Western Australia, who basically built a V8 and wanted the higher gearing. So we sent those to each other, and didn't end up having to pay anything for the gears. I am running a TJM air locker in the rear diff, and I'm running an auto locker in the front. The auto lockers aren't really my favourite locker wise, but I actually worked out costing me nothing, that front locker. I bought it as part of a diff, and basically I'd travelled to go and pick that diff up, and the gearing wasn't what the guy had advertised it to be. So he ended up selling it to me cheaper. I ended up keeping the locker, and then I sold the rest to get my money back, basically. So that didn't cost me anything, just to put it in, basically. So that was another little money saver with the build. I am running the manual locking hubs in the front there as well. They are a bit stronger, but the main reason I got those was for reversing the trailers up the driveway and being able to go into two-wheel drive and not have to worry about the front diff locking in on the driveway, so I could use that low range. On the roof there, I bought basically everything on there except for the light bar as a bundle off a friend of mine, actually. I've got the Rhino trade platform. It does have the high lift mounts on there. I just keep the high lift at home, I never use it. Got the Rhino shovel on there. That's actually brand new, the shovel. I did have the orange one, but it got left at Monkey Gum Fire Trail. If anyone found it, that's where it came from. And then on the other side, I've got the Max Tracks and the ARB, just the small awning. And then down the back there, I'm running a solar panel, which I've got actually charge in my Red Arc box that I've got in the back there, which is 100% charged by the looks of it there. I actually got that Red Arc box as a gift, and I've just set it up straight to the solar panel. I've also got it set up so it can charge just through the 12-volt port there while I'm driving as well. I'll just take you around to the back. So I've just got the 45-litre ARB fridge, and I've got the drop-down slide for that as well. Just makes it helpful for the missus being able to reach in there. Otherwise it is a bit high for her. And then I've got the ARB seats, which probably get used more than any other accessory on the car. And then I've just got the single drawer in the back, ARB single drawer. I quite like the single, so it gives you room to put, you know, the kids' motorbikes and, you know, big items still in there, so you're not losing all your space. I keep a bit of recovery gear in there. If I'm going on a bit of a hard trip, I keep CVs and hubs and things like that in there just in case. I keep a little cooker and things like that in there permanently as well, which is pretty handy. That's going to get used tomorrow. And on the back of the car, I've just got the ARB step and tow bar, which I quite like the look of. It was quite rough and beat up. The corners of the bottom of that were all bent up from Monkey Gum, but I did trim them down with a grinder and give it a bit of a paint and get the tops powder coated to match the side steps. That fridge I actually bought from a lady from Canberra who won it in a raffle. So I saved a bit of money on that as well. And then the canopy here actually ended up costing me nothing. I used to have a really old high roof that was all peeling and getting pretty crappy. So I actually bought a bundle with a whole rear end, like tubs and flares and rear bar and everything like that. I kept the canopy and then I sold everything all individual and ended up getting all my money back for it. So that worked out costing me nothing, which was quite good. Under the hood wise, I've just got the T-piece running 13 PSI. It's got the front mount intercooler and the 3-inch straight through exhaust. So yeah, it's definitely no powerhouse, but it's been incredibly reliable for a very long period of time. I've never had any dramas with it. It's just been absolutely, yeah, unreal. I have toyed with the idea of doing like a uni chip or something like that, but yeah, at this stage I just like keeping it reliable. I can deal with the power, so. Interior wise, quite nice for a 20-year-old truck. I've got the black duck seat covers. I've got the wireless Apple CarPlay screen in there. That's the XRS. Then I've also got the 4 pillar gauges, 2 on each there. I've got exhaust temps. I've got engine temp, boost gauge, and voltage. Yeah, it was sort of starting to deteriorate in some of the places in here and on the side doors, so I got them re-trimmed in the black vinyl, which makes a big difference. And yeah, other than that, it's got the kid seats in the back. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it for a 20-year-old truck. Got the red arc brakes down there, light switches, get the locker switches and compressor as well, so yeah. Overall, it's been a great, reliable car. Never gives us any dramas. It's been all over. So, yeah, it's basically become part of the family. We'll never sell it. We'll always keep it. It's very well set up for what I do with it. And yeah, that is my rig.